Destiny, or Stephen Kenneth Bonnell II, is a popular Twitch streamer who does mostly politics and gaming. But what has happened to Destiny over the couple of years? And why has his shift from debating right-wingers to left-wingers caused so much controversy? Here I'll be making a video debunking some of the claims about Pete Buttigieg. And yes, I know that this video is kinda late, and it's kinda off-putting to make a debunk video on a candidate that dropped out, but still I think it's still worthwhile to make this video to see how Destiny's positions have changed.
That education is going to work for them, right? So you see a lot of parts of
That's part of the motivation.
Yeah, because you're motivated because you believe that at the end of your educational process there's a reward, there's a stable life, there's a job, and there are a lot of kids, especially the lower income minority neighborhoods, who literally just haven't seen it work. There isn't somebody they know personally
and I think
who testifies to the value of education. So yeah, you bet. You know,
this seems totally standard to me. Like, having role models around you showing you that like the system can produce positive results is like pretty important. I don't think that's really controversial.
Destiny defends this proposition by Pete by saying it is standard or sensical. But yet, we will see how his own argument will be argued against him by no other than himself.
The reason that people are having trouble at school and having trouble moving up a ladder is because the entire economic and political deck is stacked against them on a material level, not because they don't have positive roles.
That's what it is. You fucking piece of shit. Oh man, dude. Man, if you're a minority, I would watch out for these slimy, snaky motherfuckers. Well, hold on. Actually, I will not call Michael Brooks a slimy, snaky motherfucker, because at least he's honest about it. So if you're black, fuck off about your racial issues. It's not about race, dude. It's just about class. There aren't like, well, I'm being actually super uncharitable here because he must acknowledge that there's some level of like racial animosity present in like the criminal justice system or something, right? He must believe that. He can't think that it's all class. There's no way that Mike is that dense, right? There's no possible way. There's no possible way.
The funny thing about Destiny calling Michael a class reductionist is the fact that in the same video that Michael talks about, he talks about lowering redlining, and yet Destiny still by the end of the video either believes Michael is still a class reductionist or just made his audience believe it due to his backpedaling and stating that Michael is a bad faith actor.
We can totally hack the safety net. We can have no public provisions for housing and healthcare that are real, substantive, and sustainable. We can redline people. We can racially discriminate against them. We can box in resources. And then all we need is, well, not, and then of course we need to terrorize the teachers and the teachers unions, but we just need somebody to see somebody from their neighborhood get educated and do well. I'll tell you this,
That's such a weirdly reductive answer. I feel like I'm listening to, ironically enough, Sargon of
Dude, I'm totally triggered by this, I swear, right?
I'm just speechless. But this is just a hypocritical statement coming from Destiny, and reductive in and of itself, so that's the problem with this weird statement that he said, which is kind of ironic.
Fact that you can hear countless stories of people from different backgrounds saying, I actually do know X, Y, or Z person who did do, quote unquote, all of the right things you're supposed to do. They did get degrees, they did do this, and now they're basically just swimming in debt.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's mainly the upshot.
Number.
That's not true, though. This is this weird lie that's been pushed on the American people that education sucks and it doesn't help you. There is a massive premium paid to a 4-year degree. What is this? What is Anecdote Mike doing here? If you know somebody that got a college degree and you compare them to somebody that didn't get a college degree, the guy with the degree is probably doing a fuck ton better. Is there a lot of debt associated with college? Sure. Are there people that get degrees and don't get jobs? Sure. In general, does having a 4-year bachelor's confer like a $20,000 a year wage premium to you? Yes, it generally does. It is a massive upshot. There's a huge upside to getting a 4-year degree.
Destiny has a point here that if you finish a college, you'll almost definitely pay off your debt. But I think that there shouldn't even be a debt, for the fact that it limits lots of people that are afraid of failing college, and thereof they won't go to college. I think that college needs to be more accessible to the masses, and the fact that student debt disproportionately affects black people, making them less inclined to go to college or finish it. So in this next video, which is a short debate with Pixie, Destiny is going to be talking about the Iowa caucus and how conspiracy theories are supposedly being channeled through the left-wing parties. And Bernie Bro! Nonetheless, let's go through the video and see what kind of problems I see with it.
I did.
I am doing A-okay. I'm ready for you to scream at me.
Okay. I need you to be my... You have to be the voice of reason, okay? Because I know you're going to be on 20 million fucking podcasts and shows, okay?
Okay.
This shit about everything being rigged against Bernie is the craziest, dumbest fucking shit in the world. Do you agree? Or are we gonna fight about this?
We're gonna end up fighting about this.
Oh my fucking god. You realize that, like, you sound just like a Trumple when you start screeching about how every single committee and campaign and everything is, like, rigged against your particular candidate, right? Like, it's undistinguishable from Trump speech.
So as we can see in the first couple of minutes, he compares lefties or Bernie bros to right-wingers. But he doesn't really elaborate here, so he just ad homs the leftist movement that supports Bernie Sanders. And he's going to do this in a lot of videos, not just these couple that I have picked out to argue against. He has a pretty much agenda against the left now, due to the fact of these Bernie bros on Twitter talking about conspiracies that the Iowa caucus was rigged, and all of this melting into the identity or the strawman position of what he calls Bernie bros or lefties. Even though most of the supposed Bernie bros actually don't support the conspiracy theory or the idea of the Iowa caucus being rigged, and they are only concerned about how it could have been rigged and how Pete Buttigieg got away scot-free with his supposed win. So that's the main problem, and now he creates this blob of Bernie bros and Bernie supporters and lefties and meshes them together to make the perfect strawman of the entirety of Bernie supporters.
So here's the deal. I don't want to make any super general claims right now. I don't want to be like, oh yes, it's 100% rigged, blah, blah, blah. But I do think that there are some questionable things that have come
like
to
what?
light. I think it's a conflict of interest that Pete Buttigieg's campaign bought software rights from the company.
Okay, Biden's campaign and Tulsi Gabbard's campaign have
Yes.
used them as well, right? Like,
I know that.
It's a software
But I
company. Are
still-
they not allowed to, like, sell services to, like,
To the
any...
candidates of an app they're developing, I don't think they should. I think that is a clear conflict of interest.
What is the conflict of interest? If you're in software development and you do, like, election-related shit, like, should Facebook not be allowed to, like, run ads for, like, that's just so weird.
When you have monumental incompetence that is a function of people self-dealing and of people who are simply pursuing a task where the pursuit of that task is secondary to enriching themselves, it certainly will create an atmosphere where people develop conspiracy theories because they can't imagine that those people don't share the same basic agenda where success is not job number one. Because a significant portion of our society is not like that. But there is a significant portion that is, and it just so happens that they tend, more often than not, to be successful.
As we see Sam Seder talking about, it's not wise or even understanding to now say that the app had problems and then say it's not reasonable or even advantageous to have concerns over the results.
They should only be allowed to work with, like, one group, and they can't. That's really weird to me. No. I think that there's, like, 50 million more reasonable explanations that come into play before implying that, like, this company was, like, rigging the vote totals in favor of Pete.
Then we have this other argument that you heard about having so many other possibilities. What does that supposed to mean, Destiny? Seriously. If you were to say, yeah, there are so many other possibilities than the Iowa caucus being rigged, what is that? That's not an argument. That's just you pointing out that there are other possibilities. Maybe you are concerned with the fact of conspiracy theories roaming, and that's true, but you're acting like having a concern is not valid. So we cannot really say that you are making an argument here. You're just basically stating it's possible that it wasn't rigged and it was something different.
Reported at the same time. Stop. Nothing is normal right now, okay? These should have been reported yesterday, okay? So there are so many I am embarrassed. And there have been so many things that have discouraged me from like politics over the past over the past year, I would say, when dealing with the left. I'm embarrassed at the state of politics on this platform right now. Like, I'm sorry, but
that's it. We do not have a democracy. We do not have a democratic process.
You don't get to say that after saying this.
Do I prefer a caucus over a regular primary? I personally think a regular primary is better, if we're keeping it honest, if we're keeping it real. But caucuses do favor Bernie Sanders, so I'm pro caucus all the way, baby. I'm Michael Dukakis.
You have no real opinion on politics. Like, go do React content or go play video games. Like, why do so many people have this opinion? Like, it's actually disgusting. Like, this is like as bad or worse than the alt-right shit that I dealt with. Like, literally. No, that's not hyperbole. Like, it's actually fucking disgusting. Like, you have no real opinion on politics, right? You're just here to simp for Bernie. Like, at the very least, like, if you're gonna go this fucking hard, get paid by the fucking campaign. Like, you can actually get paid to go out on canvas and knock on doors and shit. Like, if you're just gonna be a partisan shill hack, like a spineless fuck, right? Like, you can at least get a paycheck for it. Like, geez. Like, at least get fucking paid for it.
So here Destiny does something that should be very suspect to anybody that knows politics, and that's that he states that he's above politics, or that he doesn't have a bias. He wants to be objective and look at the facts, not the conspiracy theories or the politicizing of events. Here he also takes a jab at Hassan and makes a weird statement, which is kind of, you take it as you will. He critiques him on the fact that he's a shill, but he doesn't just state that he's a shill, but if you're a shill, you should at least get paid from the candidate to do your shill work. Which is a weird sentiment, to say the least.
How fucking pathetic. Like, the funny thing is that no matter what happened, like, there are 7 different narratives for no matter how this could have played out. If Bernie would have won, here's an interesting thing. I'm not gonna go find these clips, but go and find all the clips of people like, oh no, well if Bernie won, now all of a sudden all the wind is going to be taken out of his sails because of the faulty reporting. Are these same people going to come out and say like, man, all the wind got taken out of Pete's sails for his win if it turns out that he won? Guarantee you that's not going to happen. Guarantee you that's not going to happen. If Bernie would have won, then it would have been, wow, bullshit, he got fucked, you know, they took the win of sales. If Bernie loses, wow, they just needed time to rig the vote totals. This is JQ shit. No matter what you do, there's always a reason why your guy's getting fucked. There's always a reason why the conspiracy is against you. There's always a reason why everybody's rigging against you. No matter what happens, right? It's always going to come out to favor you, because that's how the fucking conspiracy mind brain fucking works. Is that every little thing can be twisted and turned and curved, and that side is against you and this side, and the shadow company is, never mind the fact that 2 other candidates also donated. Never mind the fact that, you know, these people make apps for the DNC. Never mind that, no, it's all the conspiracy. It's the CIA, the fucking everybody. Like, it's unbelievable.
Here's another clip of him repeatedly strawmanning lefties and comparing them to right-wingers. Here he also basically treats political candidates like fact inventories, which is a weird way of interpreting political candidates.
Destiny likes Pete. I like him too. I never said I like Pete. Is that guy memeing? Wait, IP banned that guy from chat. It's a fucking moron. I've never said that I like Pete. I think he sounds kind of smart, but I don't know. Actually, wait. I think I've said multiple times that I wouldn't trust Pete because he's got a very limited record, and he's already kind of had he's already dealt with some things like in a pretty bad fashion, actually.
As we can see, a guy from chat asks, You like Pete Buttigieg? I like him too. But Destiny is not flattered by this. He thinks that the guy is memeing, and I says to his fans that to IP ban him. He says that he doesn't support Pete Buttigieg due to his limited record. And this is kind of fishy due to the fact of how many videos he's made defending Pete a lot on lots of issues.
Any moderate Dem candidate is a more reasonable candidate. So I would say the same thing about Pete that I would about Biden, that I would about even like Kamala Harris or fucking Delaney or fucking Booker, like any of the more moderate Dems, I'm going to say, or Amy Klobuchar or whatever.
Here he also, as we can see, likes these people that if exist are a minority. Or he had to scroll fest through Twitter and forget the fact that on Twitter you cannot assign all the thoughts to a movement or a political ideology. And at the end, he also states that he would treat any moderate the same, which is just incorrect or impossible due to the fact of him not being a machine. To sum up all of this video's contents,
It's always what do you think black people?
What a fucking liar, dude. What a fucking Weasley little liar, dude.
but seriously, I think that Destiny's shift is, I don't think it's new. I think that he was always this way, and because he was debating lots of right-wingers at the time, lots of people mistook him for being a progressive or a radical, which he really wasn't.
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. Comes up my legs from the morning until the day's done. At the end here. I got hairy legs. Yeah, that's right. You heard what I said. I got hairy legs. Yeah, man. Watch the hair come back up again. I'm the guy with the best chance to win.
It's only 60 seconds, not up yet.
Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys, a bad crew.
Yes, sir.
I really was the only white guy that really knew. He said, I'll meet you outside, and I said, what am I gonna do?